In this nitty-gritty basics Let's Play live stream, we're going to be playing American Mah Jongg at I Love Mahj. I want to start this session with a very short presentation on how to score. If you play online, the system will score for you. But if you play in person, you're going to be responsible for announcing the value of your winning hand. And there are some situations that can increase the value of your hand. There are also some penalties. So I thought we would quickly look at how to score, and then we'll do gameplay with commentary at I Love Mahj. I'm an affiliate partner at I Love Mahj. It's a wonderful place to play regardless of your skill level. There are some great opportunities to play with robots with varying degrees of intelligence, and also they have an exercise room, not just for beginners. Anybody can practice there, especially if you're learning a new skill or a new strategy. You can test it out and also just practice to gain confidence with application of that particular skill or strategy. So I encourage you to check it out. I will get a small commission if you decide to do a paid subscription. And when you sign up, use MAHJLIFE as the promo code to get an extra week with your trial. I want to say thank you so much for watching my videos and for sharing about my channel. And also channel members, thank you so much for supporting MAHJLIFE. We have a new channel member, Karen. Welcome. Welcome to the madness. I also want to say thank you to moderators who are helping monitor chat. Today's format is nitty-gritty, so no socialization, please, in chat. If you want to socialize, feel free to do so in the comment section or join us on Facebook. Just look for MAHJLIFE or my name, Michele Frizzell. And then also join us on Friday nights where we do Simply Social Let's Play live streams, where we have stream of consciousness going on in the chat, all kinds of shenanigans, and of course we do gameplay with commentary as well. Later today, we're going to do another session of this. This is a double header, so we'll go again at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and we're going to be talking about risk, calculating risks. So that'll be really good, whether you're an intermediate or advanced player. If you're a beginner, it may feel a little overwhelming. So consider whether or not you would want to attend that, but you're totally welcome to come. Hello, Marilyn, welcome. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen now, and we'll get started with this very short presentation, and then we'll do gameplay with commentary. So we're gonna just quickly go over how to score. If you're new to the game, you may not know how to do this yet. So I know for some people this may be elementary, so bear with us and we'll get through it in a short amount of time, and then we'll get back to playing Mahjong. How to score. We're going to look at hand types, hand value, and then win circumstances. First, when you look at the card, this is a mock card that I use for lessons and in my books, my primers. And so it uses the same methodology used on an American Mah Jongg card, but it's timeless. The year has YYYY, so that it can be used regardless of when you see any of my videos or read my books. So, or any, well, some of my wiki articles are based on the current card and I keep those up to date, but sometimes you might see hands from the mock card. So on the card, in the right margin of each panel, you see a value column. And under that value column is an X and a C for any given hand, or I should say an X or a C. The X means that you can claim a discard to make an exposure and then continue your hand development by using discards as opposed to only picking tiles from the wall. The C stands for concealed, and when you play that kind of a hand, you have to develop the hand just by picking tiles from the wall until you're ready to win. When you are ready to win, you can declare Mahjong on a discard. And some people are a little confused about joker exchanges when playing a concealed hand. That would be any hand with a C. You are eligible for doing a joker exchange when you're playing a concealed hand. So just remember that, because you don't want to miss out on those opportunities to help yourself with those jokers. So X means exposable, C means concealed. Some people say C means closed. Same, it's a synonym, closed or concealed. So these are all on this mock card. These are all the exposable hands. Most of the hands on the card are exposable, and that applies to any American Mah Jongg card, regardless of the creator and the year. The C, concealed hands, there are fewer of them, but and typically they're a higher value, which we'll talk about in a minute. The value column on the far right is our numbers, and these are the hand values. And I like to call this a base value. So if you look at, for example, the first hand in 2468, it has a 25 there. That is a base value, because you can increase that value in a couple of ways. So let me just check chat real quick, see if anybody has any questions at the moment. We're going to talk about circumstances in a little bit on how the base value can increase. So we're going to start here as a foundation. So the value of a hand is in the far right margin of each panel next to the hand. The values are easy, moderate, and difficult. And so the value is related directly to the difficulty of the hand. So the 25-point hands are all exposable, and they have singles, pairs, pungs, kongs, quints, whatever. So these are the more easy hands to play, and you can see they make up most, or a large portion of the hands on the card are easy, that low level 25-point hands. The 30-point hands are a little bit more difficult. These are the moderate value hands. They have more pairs in them. Sometimes they may have singles as well. Also, many times they're the concealed hands, so they're going to be a little more difficult. The 35-point hands are also concealed, and these typically have more pairs in them. Not necessarily all the time, though. Sometimes there may only be one pair, but they'll add difficulty by just saying you have to do it concealed, which adds to the difficulty. So there may or may not be more pairs or singles. Just the fact that it's concealed makes it a more challenging hand. The 30-point hand that we just talked about, some of those are exposable, and those would be hands that typically will have singles or pairs when you can actually call for discards for the other big multiples in the hand. The 40-point hands are the quints, and sometimes there are 45-point hands. Usually there's 2 or 3 40-point and 1 45-point hand in quints. The 50 and greater point hands are all in the singles and pairs category. So these are the most difficult. These are all concealed, and they require singles and or pairs, different combinations and different shapes and patterns, but they're all very challenging to play. So this is the breakout, 25 points all the way up to 80 points, depending on the year. Most of the hands are easy. And then there's a similar piece of the pie for moderate and difficult, with just a couple point difference as far as number of hands with those higher values. So let's talk about what to do when you declare Mahjong. When you have completed a hand, whether you picked a tile from the wall or you claim a discard, you declare Mahjong, and you have to verbalize what hand you're playing so that it can be validated by your opponents. And you're going to say the value of the hand, which is the number in the right margin next to the hand. If you declare Mahjong after picking a tile from the wall, the other players will pay double the value of the hand, because that is called a self-picked win. So everybody pays double. So that if you're playing a 25-point hand, that base value is now doubled for 50 points. So it gets a new base value. So that hand becomes 50 points if you pick your winning tile from the wall. Now, if you declare Mahjong by discard, somebody discards a winning tile, your value is what is on the card, and then the discarder pays double the value, and the other two players pay the value of the hand. If you win a hand that can use jokers, that in the end of the game does not have jokers, your base value doubles. So let's say that you're playing a 30-point hand and you claim a discard to make an exposure with a joker. And then later in the game, somebody makes an exchange and that exposure is now pure, meaning there's no jokers there. And then later you declare Mahjong and your hand has no jokers in it. That is a jokerless hand, and the base value doubles. So from 30 points, it'll now be 60 points. So let's say that you pick your winning tile for Mahjong on a jokerless hand, a hand that can be exposable, can use jokers, but has no jokers. When you pick your winning tile from the wall, everybody pays double that new base value. So they're going to pay 120 because it was a 30-point hand doubled for 60 points because you have no jokers, and then you draw your winning tile, so you get a double that new base value. So that would be 120 points. Let's say instead someone discards the winning tile. 30-point hand, jokerless, so it's a 60-point hand. The discarder pays double, so that's 120 that they owe you, and the other two players pay 60. So these are the ways that the hand values work. If anyone has any questions, let me know. Since there's a penalty for discarding the winning tile, from a discarder perspective, just be mindful of discards, because you don't want to be the player who discards that winning tile, because you will incur a penalty. So when you're deciding for yourself what to discard, look for your tiles, or look at your discards and see how many discards you have. How many tiles do you need to get yourself to a ready hand? So the number of discards, that shows where you need to still continue hand development. If you are playing a hand, let's say, and you come to the end game where there are maybe 30 tiles left in the wall and you still have 2 discards, that means you need to further develop your hand still by 2 tiles before you can be ready to win. So you want to compare the number of discards to the number of picks you have left in the wall. If there are 30 tiles remaining, you can just divide that number by 4, and that'll tell you how many picks you're going to have left. So if you have 2 discards and you get 4 more picks because there are 30 tiles remaining, depending on whose turn it is, of course, because 32 divided by 4, 32 divided by 4 is 8. 8 times 4 is 32. If you have 2 discards and you have 8 more picks, you have a pretty good chance, hopefully, of getting a joker or maybe the tile that you need. So compare the number of discards in your hand to the number of tiles left in the wall, but also look at the tiles that are on the table. And that includes discards and exposures, because maybe the tiles you need have already been either discarded or used. Another thing that you might want to consider is if you can figure out what your opponents are playing, what tiles they may need. And then I already talked about your number of discards, and all this is to decide your potential to win. If you feel that you'll be able to get the tiles you need before, of course, the end of the game, then you have a potential. If you're playing a hand that, let's say you're playing a singles and pairs hand and your tiles are all visible or out, well, you have no recourse. You need to play defensively at this stage of the game because there won't be time to switch hands. So you just have to go through this analysis of your potential based on the tiles that are visible, including the tiles in your hand and how many tiles are left for picking. All those things are going to give you an idea of whether or not you have a good potential to win. And then also you might want to consider the value of your hand. If you're playing a 25-point hand and someone is playing a quint, you might want to fold if you draw a risky tile, because you then wouldn't want to discard the winning tile for someone playing a quint. So value does come into it a little bit. If your potential to win is high, play to win and discard the riskiest tile first, because the tiles that you're holding on to are going to increase in risk the longer you hold them. That's why you want to discard the riskiest tile first if you're playing to win. If you are going to fold, then you're going to discard the safest tile possible and you're going to hold those risky tiles. And that way you can block your opponents from further developing their hand or from winning. So now we're going to play Mahjong at I Love Mahj. I hope you found that helpful if you're new to the game. And whether you play for fun, well, we all play for fun, but whether you score or not, it's always good to know, because at one point you might want to play for score or play for money, or maybe even play in a tournament. And knowing how to value your hand, that's going to be important. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen so we can play Mahjong. Here is I Love Mahj. We're going to use this layout up here, I think. Let's see which one's bigger. This one, I guess. Okay, so we're going to, I just want to mention really quick, if you are new to I Love Mahj, they have an exercise room with some great skill builders. So give these a try, whether you're new to the game or you already know how to play and just want to build your skills. You can use these exercises to help you build your skills and also maybe practice a new strategy. We're going to play with robots, and this is where you select what level you want to play with. Standard would be beginner, intermediate is intermediate, and then advanced would be experienced. So we're going to start in the middle, and we'll play with intermediate bots. So I'm going to click start game, and we're going to play Mahjong now. If you have any questions about scoring, let me know in the chat. All right, so today's time, by the way, is unusual. We're going to be going until, let's see, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. I have an appointment at the end of the day, so I had to modify my time a little bit. Let's see. All right, here we go. We have a flower, northeast singles, red, white singles, 1 bam, 6-9, pair 6, 3, 5, 6 in cracks, and then a 1 dot. Whenever I get a dealt hand, the first thing I look for is multiples. That would be pair pung kong, and we have one. So we have a good start right there, 6 bam. So then I would look at the rest of my tiles and I would hold anything that I can use with that 6. And then play a category that will use most of my remaining tiles. We have a 5, 6. We also have some potential in here for 3, 6, 9. So I would probably hold the 3 and the 9. So we have 5, 6 consecutive run, or maybe 3, 6, 9, with or without the flower, and with or without dragons. There are a couple of dragons hands in both consecutive run and also 3, 6, 9. That leaves us with 2 wins and 2 ones. So I would not pass 2 wins, and I would not pass 2 ones either. I think both of those are a step down from passing a pair, in my opinion. So I would instead probably let one of the dragons go, probably the red dragon. Okay, so we have a 5, here's a 4, and a 7. So to me, this looks like a lot of consecutive tiles. So I would let the 3 go since it's on the low side. We actually have 3 tiles to pass. We could even keep that if we want, but we have a 5, 6 in cracks and a 5, 6 in bams. We could maybe try, for example, to play the 4th hand down under consecutive run as an option, but I wouldn't pick a hand yet. We do have some potential elsewhere, maybe 4, 5, 6, 1 suit Kongs, 3rd hand down. So I wouldn't pick a hand. Instead, I would just gather until we run out of discards. Right now, we have 3 that we're passing. Probably the white dragon will go, I would imagine. So let's say we have 4 or 5 discards at the moment, because we're not sure yet if we can use the 3 or the 7. I would say probably that 3 is going to go. So let's just see what we get. All right, now we have some 2, 4, 6, 8 in here. Look what showed up, 2, 4, 6, 8, and that would use our multiple. We also have an 8 dot. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, or maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 2 tiles we can pass, and now we have to make a choice. So at the moment, we're in between categories. We're in between evens and consecutive run. And we have 1 multiple. So you want to leverage the multiple, because American Mah Jongg is a game of multiples. And we need to let a tile go. We have way more tiles in consecutive run than we do in 2, 4, 6, 8. So I would, if this were my hand, I probably would, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'd probably let the 2 bam go. Even though we have 2, 4, 6, 8 in 1 suit, no gaps, like we could play maybe the second hand from the bottom on the left. That would be 1 hand, and it's really weak with the 2 and the 8. Those need to be Kongs. And we still need the 4 bam and a flower for that 1 hand. If we play 5, 6, 7, 8 of some kind, or maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, we're going to have more options. So I would let that 2 go. And we have another 6. Let's see, we have 4, 5, 6, 8. We have a red dragon and a 9 crack. I would definitely keep going and probably let this 8 bam go. If we had a 7 bam, I would keep it, but we need to pass. And I would want to keep my options open with these other 5, 6, 7, 8 tiles. We do actually have a hand in here, a couple in under consecutive run, 3rd hand down on the left under consecutive run, but we could also play the second hand from the bottom on the right, 5, 6 bam, 7, 8 in dots, We could also maybe even play the fourth hand down if we get a 4 crack. Okay, now here's a 3. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 numbers, and a dragon showed up. So we could now maybe play the 5th hand down, 3, 4, 5, 6 dragon. So we need to pick something now. I think since we don't have a 4 crack for the 4th hand down, I would let the 5, 6 go. We still could maybe play 5, 6, 7, 8. This is going to be a bit risky, passing that right there. 5, 6, 9. Because we have a strong start here and a couple of hands we could play, 3rd hand down or maybe the 5th hand down, we could make that a little bit better. Not by much though. For example, maybe we could pass the 7 or the 8, 6, 8, 9, and just let that second hand from the bottom on the right go and just mitigate the risk a little bit. Let's just do it. Okay, now here we don't have any keepers, so we can pass one of each suit. We got a keeper, and we've got tiles we can pass. We have 4 discards at the moment, and we have an option with our flower. We're not sure yet if we're playing the 3rd hand down on the left or the 5th hand down, both under consecutive run. So we can pass fully here. 3, 8, let's say 5 with a 3. I think that's probably good. Okay, we have no keepers there, 4 discards, and we know what category we're playing. We have no gaps for 2 hands. So I'd say that was a pretty good Charleston. With, let's see, we're the dealer, so we have an extra discard. With a 6 bam pung, we really don't need this one. We don't need any of these really. So I would just start by letting the 1 bam go. So that leaves us with the game starting, and we have 3 discards, 2 potential hands. So I'd say we're a contender on this game. That means we can take some risks as we develop our hand. And I would just take it discard by discard and pick by pick to decide whether or not to claim anything. Because when we claim a discard, we're going to likely be committing to either the 3rd hand down or the 5th hand down. I suppose we could play the 2nd hand from the bottom on the left, 3, 4, 5, 6, pung, pung, kong, kong. So we have really 3 hands we could potentially play here. So let's just see what happens. Well, there's a joker up for grabs already. And we get a joker. How nice. Somebody got a joker already. Okay, now here we have a tile. This could be our tile. 3 bam. We could pung that, but there'll be another one. I think I would wait on that because we still have an option. And if we play the 3rd hand down, we could play 4, 5, 6 and not use a joker, because whatever we expose, we could lose with that joker. So I would probably wait. And then also the 5th hand down, we need a pair of 3s, not a pung of 3s. So by waiting, we still have the potential to play that hand. And then also the 2nd hand from the bottom on the left, pung, pung, kong, kong. We would need to pung, but there's one more. And we can still use jokers there if we decide to play that hand. So I would give ourselves a little more time and let it go. Now, if another one goes down, I would probably reconsider. Okay, here's a 5, 6. The 7 can go. So we have 4, 5, 6, and a 5, 6. We do have some potential for that 4th hand down under consecutive run right now. All right, now here, this would be a pair for the fifth hand down, so we wouldn't call it, but this would be a pung for the second hand from the bottom on the left. And it because it's the first one, we can use that same logic and wait as we did with the 3. We've got a little time before we have to commit. Okay, now here's where we would need to decide. So this is the second one. If we're going to play that, let's say we play the second hand from the bottom on the left, we would pung. If we were to play the third hand down, we would need to use both jokers and Kong. We can Kong the 6 regardless, but this is where we would need to make a choice. I think I would probably, let's see, I think I would probably let the dragon hand go because this is the second 4-bam out and we need a pair there. So I would play either the third hand down or the second hand from the bottom. And because our 3 is out on top and we still need a pair of flowers and we only have 1, I would go ahead and call and pung and play that second hand from the bottom on the left. That is a hand of least resistance. We can use any number of jokers. So I would call and pung. Pung, pung, kong, kong. And now I would let my risky tiles go. That would be the flower and the dragon. So we have a 4-bam pung with a joker. We're going to discard the flower. And then now here, we need to Kong, and we have 1 joker left that we can do that with, so I would call. Otherwise, we're going to need it on the later in the game, and we're going to have to use the joker. So I would just use the joker now. So I would call and Kong, and then discard the joke or the dragon. So we can Kong the 6 if it goes down, and all we need is 1 good pick for that 3-bam. Oh, 6 5. Maybe we'll get a joker exchange here with the 6. No, we don't need that one. Okay, there's a joker up for grabs. Right now there's 3 jokers up for grabs at the moment. Don't need a second dot. No, thankfully we need flowers. Oh my goodness. Wow, look at the flowers out. Let me see. Oh, that's our tile. We're going to need a joker now because we're not ready. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flowers are out. And we let ours go at this point. Okay, there's a joker. So now we can use that. There's 1 more 3-bam. 1 more 3-bam. Let's let the 6 dot go and see what happens. Nobody wanted it. That's a problem. Okay, let's see. Nobody wanted the 6. 6 dots. We're at 60 tiles remaining. So we're in the middle part of the game. There we go. So we're ready to win on what I call a double weight. We could win with a 3-bam or a 6-bam. 1 of 2 tiles. And we can use jokers too. So we've got a really good chance of winning this game. I'd say we're a front runner now. There are a lot of jokers up for grabs. 6 dots. Green. 7 things. Flower. Okay, that's a fresh tile. Nine bam is out. Okay, we're in the end game now. At 40 tiles remaining, that's the end game. 4-bam exchange. Okay, now since we did our own joker exchange and we have a winning hand, that is going to double the base value of our hand. So this is a 25-point hand. So now it's going to be 50 points and everybody pays us 50. So we're going to declare Mahjong. Mahjong. I don't know why they do this at this platform. They use tournament scoring here. So when you win, they say that you get 35 points. This is a 25-point hand. Self-picked win in a in-person game, you would get double the value from each player. But here it just says we earned 35 points. So I don't really understand that. Thank you. Thank you for the kudos there. So yeah, I don't really understand. Explain points. Let's just double click this here. Okay, 25 points earned for consecutive run. Can you see that? Let me go bigger screen here. 25 points earned for consecutive run number line 7. 10-point bonus for self-picked Mahjong. That is a tournament scoring method. When you play in person, the value of your hand doubles. So our hand would be a 50-point hand and everybody would pay 50. Okay, I think they do tournament scoring because they also market themselves as a tournament platform. Well, the thing is, though, they don't do tournaments on their platform, though. You play one game at a time. I don't think they have a tournament feature. So I'm not quite sure. Julie, if you're watching this, first, thank you for watching. Also, send me an email, or I'll send you an email and ask, just so that I'm able to share the reasoning behind the scoring at I Love Mahj. Because while I play here during these live streams and on my personal time, I've never noticed the scoring. I just play, and whether I win or lose, I pat myself on the back or not, or school myself, I guess, if I don't win. But I don't really pay much attention to the scoring. I'm just, enjoying the experience, I guess. So someone said, I've seen in the past they've done them, but you're right. I rarely see any tournaments there. Okay, so I'll find out, and I'll let you know what I find out. I'll put a comment under the video description to let everybody know what I learn. Can you create your own tournaments on this platform? I know you can create your own games. I don't know how you would use the platform for that, but maybe we can table this conversation until I learn more. And also, this is nitty-gritty basics, so we're really on a bit of a tangent right now, because beginners typically are not going to be ready to play in tournaments. So let's just table the tournament talk and play the game and focus on hand development and hand value, which is the topic for today. All right, so I'm going to close this and I'll find out more, and then I'll add information either in the video description or in a comment below the video, and then I'll pin it. Okay, let's start a new game. Okay, so here we go. We have a red dragon, a white dragon. Do you guys like this layout better? I guess I'll do this layout here. So red, white dragon, 5, 6, 7 in bams, 2, 3, 4, 7 in cracks, 4, 5, 8 in dots with a pair of 8s. So when you look at this hand, the first thing that your eye should go to is the pair of 8 dots. That's a multiple. So that's where you start. To me, in my opinion, it simplifies the process. Target multiples. So whatever we play, we're going to use that 8. We have some potential for 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's just pull those over and see how many tiles we have to work with. For 2, 4, 6, 8, we have 5. We also have consecutive run 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's 7. 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 tiles. I would play 5, 6, 7, 8, and probably I would let a dragon go and hold number tiles. They're much more efficient than these dragons. All right, so we've got a 5. I would hold it. Our 8, we need to get from 5 to 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. So the 4s are not going to be helpful. I would let the dragon go. All right, now we have a 6. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, and we have like numbers with 4s. I would not pass that. You know what I would do here probably is let the dragon go. 1, 4 dragon. And now we have 2s and a dragon. So I would break up the 2s here. There's another 8. And we have tiles we can pass, but we need to let something go now. I would not pass 2 3s or a 2 3 in one suit. We have an 8 dot pung, 5, 6, 7, 2 ways. We could maybe play that concealed hand under consecutive run. 5, 6, 7, or it would be 6, 7, 6, 7, 8. Pung, 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 pair. We wouldn't be able to use all 3 8s though. So I would just consider that. Okay, so now we have a 6, and I would probably keep that, but we're now at the last right. We have 2 discards. I would want to pass fully, and the 6 dot is not helpful without a 7. And we do have a lot of 5, 6, 7 over there, so I would let it go so I could pass fully. All right, now here's a little bit of help, a 9 dot. Now we can do 6, 7, 8, 9 a couple of ways. And we do have 3 tiles we can pass. This 9 bam is really not very helpful without an 8 bam. There's like a gap in there. 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 9. We're focused on the 8 dot pung. That's the strength of the hand right there. So we want to gather tiles to support that pung. And I wouldn't pick a hand yet. There is some potential for the concealed hand, but we can wait. We're in gather mode. We could even maybe play the second hand from the bottom on the right. All right, so we have 3 discards and a couple of hands with no gaps. I would say we're probably an underdog though, because we have a lot of discards and a pung. I would just gather and not make a choice yet. So I would not pick a hand until we get more multiples in here. So I would keep the 9 and let these little numbers go, because we're not going to use little numbers with an 8. So the little numbers will go. Okay, there's a 9 dot. So now we have a new multiple, the 9 dot, 8, 9. So I would focus on 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9, second hand from the bottom on the left. And we can use either the 6, 7 in bams or the 6, 7 in dots. Now there's a tiny potential for the 4th hand down, 7, 8, 9, double run, single pair Kong. We'd have to throw away an 8 dot though, so probably not. I probably would let that 9 crack go, but we have tiles we can discard here, so we can just leave it there for now. We got a keeper. There's another multiple in there, pair. 6, 7, 8, 9, second hand from the bottom on the right. So let's let this 9 crack go. And probably the 6, 7 and cracks will go. Okay, now here we need to make a choice. because we could Kong. So when I am at this place in the beginning of the game, or really even the middle of the game, we're a pick away from the middle of the game, which is 80 tiles remaining. So we're still in the begin game. But what I think to myself is, do I know what hand I'm playing? Do I have any gaps? Do I have weaknesses? And then answer those questions to decide whether or not I want to claim that discard and commit with an exposure. And in this case, we have a hand with no gaps, and we have 3 multiples, 7 bam, 8 dot, 9 dot. We're going to Kong that 8 probably, because we have a pretty good potential to win that second hand from the bottom. Pung, pung, Kong, Kong. And it's a hand of least resistance. Any number of jokers can help us. Even though we're not ready to do anything with the 6 bam or the 9 dot, if we get a joker, we'll be ready to go on either one of those. So I would commit and call. Otherwise, we're going to need to use a joker later. So I would rather take it and get a pure exposure here, a Kong, and then continue to gather. Okay, so now I would probably let the 6, 7 go. There's another strategy, a discard strategy that I call outside in, where you discard from the outside of the run in. So 1s, 9s, 2s, 8s, 3s, 7s, saving the middle numbers, because those are going to be more likely used in exposures with jokers. That's the theory. And it's proven. It does work. You just have to be mindful of discards. So it's a bit advanced. If it's a little overwhelming, then try not to focus on that right now. But this is why I would discard the 7. And there's a exposure with a joker there. So we'll keep an eye there. Now here, we need to pung that, but we're not ready. It's okay though, because we can use a joker later. Okay, so there's a 4. So from the outside in, we're going to let either the 4 or the 6 go. Let's let the 6 go. Now that that's out, we can let the 5 bam go. So you basically follow the leader. Whatever goes out, you can follow suit, as it were. So now we have a 4 crack pair. We might be able to get a joker out of that if we hold on to it for a little bit longer. Okay, so we'll let that go. We probably could have let that 7 dot go. There's already a 7 dot out. That we need to pung. So we're going to go ahead and call. 6, 7, pung, pung, Kong 8, Kong 9. Okay, we're at 69 tiles. The sweet spot for this strategy with the 4 crack we don't need, it's called joker bait. And basically you discard one at around 60 tiles remaining, and maybe one of your opponents will make an exposure with a joker, and on your next turn you use your other 4 to get the joker. That's how it's supposed to work. But it's a hit or miss tactic. There's our joker bait. Nobody took it, so it has no power. Now here, we're at 63 tiles remaining. We're in the middle of the game. This flower, we're not interested in flowers. We're going to let it go now. This is the riskiest tile we have. So I would let it go. Flowers do not make good joker bait because there are 8 of them. Somebody else could probably get to an exposure with a joker before you. So you really don't, I don't typically use flowers for joker bait. There's a keeper. All right, so now we're ready to Kong the 9. We need a little help with our 6 bam, but we can use jokers if we need to. Oh, we need to let these 4s go. Okay, now it looks like nobody wants wins. There are no easts out, but there are there's a north and 3 souths. Somebody could be playing a quint. I would not keep this north. Nobody took it. Now, this is when we want to start holding on to safe discards for later in the game. The 4 crack nobody wants because no one called it a couple of discards ago. So we're okay to keep those. Those will be safe. Joker. So we're going to use that down here with our 6 bam, hopefully. Okay, now there's a joker up for grabs. 3 crack nobody wanted, but no one wants the 4 either. Okay, someone got the joker. Oh, somebody got Mahjong. We got nice and close though. 1 discard. East and west with offsuit Kongs, consecutive. All right, let's play again. We have let's see, 7s. We've got all the 7s in a pair. So that's what I would focus on. 7 bam. Here's a 7 crack and a 7 dot. We do have some potential here for consecutive tiles, 5, 6, 7, but we also have big odds in here. Some kind of 5, 7, 9 hand might work. So we're in between odds and consecutive run, both using the 7 bam. And we have tiles we can pass. Let's see what happens. Okay, now with big odds, there is a dragon hand, second one from the bottom on the right, 5, 7, pair, 7, 9, pung with the opposite dragon, which is not really what we have. We could maybe use that dragon though for like numbers, second hand down. We have 2 discards. I think what I would probably do here is let the 6 crack go and focus on big odds or like numbers with 7s. We do have a hand in here under big odds, second hand down on the right, 5, 7, 7, 9, pung, Kong. Or we could do like numbers, the first hand or the second hand. Okay, there's a 7 dot. We have a south now. So we have 7, 9, 5, 7, 7, 9. I think what I would do here is probably let that dragon go. And now we have to make a choice. Let's let the south go. We could still play the first like numbers with 7 hand, but we could also play 5, 7 dot, 7, 9 bam, pung, Kong. There's a 7. We did pick up an 8, so we do have some 7, 8, 9, but with a 7, 8, 9 and a pair of 7s, it's not going to work. So I would let it go. And we're now at this place where we have to commit. Maybe the 9 dot can go if we play 5, 7 dot, 7, 9 bam, or like numbers with 7s and the flowers, we can let this 9 dot go and keep going. So we're in between categories, any like numbers, hand 1, or like big odds, hand number 2-2. We got a keeper, 9 bam. So then I would give up this 7 crack and the, let's see, we need that 5. So we're playing second hand down under odds on the right. There's tiles we can pass. No keepers, so we'll let those go. We have 3 tiles we can pass. Okay, no keepers. We have 4 discards. 4 discards in a hand with no gaps. And we have 3 multiples, including a pung. I'd say we're probably a contender because we still need a good pick. I'd say we're very close to being a front runner though, because we actually can call for 3 of these multiples. We could pung the 7 dot, Kong the 7 bam, and we could even pung the 5 or Kong the 9. We just need one good pick and we'll be set for this hand. So I'd say we're a contender until we get that pick. Then we could bump up to front runner and expedite, build hard and fast, and try to keep the lead with hand development. So let's see how this goes. That's not a keeper. Let's let the 1 go. Addition. Well, we have 7s though. I wouldn't play 7 addition because we had a pair of 7s and a pung. I don't remember which one of them were you thinking? Let's see, were you thinking of the 6-1, Marilyn? We had a 1 crack for a little while. I don't recall. I wasn't even considering that because I believe we had 5, 7, 7, 9 solidly or like numbers with 7s. I will have to watch that back to see if there was potential for addition. I don't remember. There might have been because we have 7s. It was at the beginning. Okay. There's a 9 bam. Okay, now because of that 9 bam, we're now set. We could pung the 5 dot, pung the 7, Kong the 7 bam, and Kong the 9. I'd say we're a front runner now because we're set. We're ready to call. And I would let the flower go. That's our riskiest tile. And that'll be a good discard now. Oh, 8 bam. Look at that pair. We don't need that. Seems nobody wanted that. So we can let that go. Oh my goodness. These robots are quick to call. We don't need a 1. Okay. This 8 bam is a good discard. 7 crack now. Let's see if anyone takes it. No, so those will be good to let go of. 8 bam can go. Joker. So we can use that down there. Well, we can use that anywhere. Let's call. Kong. So we're 1 away from ready. We're coming up to the middle part of the game after this next pick. That's a keeper. So we're ready to win at 60 tiles remaining. This is the very middle of the game. This is excellent. We're a front runner. We're leaving him in the dust at the moment. There it is, Mahjong. So we can use that there and this here and Mahjong. Mahjong. 5779, Kong, 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 Kong. All right, let's see here. I think we were way out in front on that one. Okay, so let's see what we have this time. Flower, north, 2, 3, 5, 6, 9, and bams. Thank you, Sue. Thank you for the kudos. Let's see, 1, 4, 6, 7, and cracks, pair 6. And we have a 2 dot here. So we have a pair of 6s. So that's where I would start. Simplify by targeting multiples. It makes it super easy with decision making. So with a 6 crack pair, I would keep the other 6. I would probably keep consecutive tiles because it's just efficient. It's super efficient and flexible. 5, 6, 7 of some kind. We do have some potential for 3, 6, 9 also. 3, 6, 9. Each number is represented, so I would consider it and stop there because we do have tiles we still need to pass. Okay, now here's an 8 and a 9. we have to make a choice now between 3, 6, 9 and 5 through 8, probably 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's let the 4 go. There was some potential in here for 2, 4, 6, 8, but it's weak. I think 5, 6, 7, 8 is a much better choice. Consecutive tiles. Okay, now we have 6, 7, 8, pair 6, pair 8. Here's a 3 bam for 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 6, 8. That doesn't work. 6, 8, you would want to choose the category that uses most of your multiples. In this case, it would be the 6, 8 for 6, 7, 8 of some kind. 6, 7, 8, 9 probably. So I would break up that 3 and probably let the 6 bam go, because our focus should be 6, 7, 8 in cracks. That way we can use both of those multiples. Let's see here. We should definitely keep going. Now, there is a north-south with a run. This would be the 5th hand down on the left. We would need pairs 6, 7, 8. I think I would keep that south because I think there was a north going around. So I think what I would do is pass 1, 2, 5. Here's a 4. We have no 2, and we have a 1, 3, 5 to pass. That's super risky. I wouldn't do that. We put a 4 in there. Okay, now we got an 8. I would let this south go at this point. Oh, look, we have a 5. Oh, okay. Part of me is thinking maybe we could play a quint with no jokers. Second hand down under quints. 5 bam with an 8. We have no jokers, so no, let's not do that. We have 6, 7, 8, and then 9. That's really not helpful. I'd probably let the 9s go. We do have 4, 5, 6, 7 here. I like that you can change your mind on passes here at this platform. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7, but then there's this pung of 8s. And I would not pass like numbers. I think I would let the 4 go and leverage the 8 crack pung. Pung has heavier weight when you're making a decision than a pair, a hand with a pair. So if we focus on the pung of 8s, we would play 6, 7, 8, probably third hand down on the left under consecutive run. Okay, there's a keeper. We did get the 2. We still have no 4. I would pass fully and break up the 5. Oh, our opponent only wants 2, so that makes it easy. All right, no keepers. We have this 2. I was thinking maybe we would get the 4 crack back, but we didn't, so I would let the 2 go. The 4 crack would be a gap if we were to consider, for example, second hand from the bottom on the left under evens. I would focus on 6, 7, 8 with flowers. Third hand down. We have no gaps. Our 7 is weak, and of course we need a pair of flowers. But we have 3 discards and joker bait. Oh, there's the player with wins. We don't want to hold wins. Oh my goodness. We're surrounded. Okay, so we can let that go. Here's the 4. Okay, we're gonna let that go. So now that is going to be a good discard. Okay, let's let the, oh, wait a minute. Look, 5, 6, 7, 8 dragon. We could maybe play that second hand down now under consecutive run. Let's just see what happens. 5 through 8 here. Okay, we're not ready to act on that. There's a flower. I would let the dragon go at this point and focus on 6, 7, 8 kongs with a pair of flowers. We need a joker for the 7. Oh, look what showed up. The 4 crack. Now we have 2, 4, 6, 8. We'd have to let a 6 crack go though. Well, let's just keep the 2, 4 for now. There are 2, 4 cracks out and we need one more. We need a pair. So it's a little bit risky. Let's just see what happens. Oh, somebody won. We got a year hand in here. 2024. Year hand. First one. All right, let's see what we have here. Oh, we have dragons. Look at that. All right, so now we have 2 BAM 7, 8 singles, 5, 6 in cracks, then 3, 5, 8. I think what I would do is hold the 8s. I think I would hold like number potential here. So I would hold the 5s and the 8s. That way we can leverage the dragons. So let's see if we can play a like number hand. We could maybe do one of each suit here. Let's do 6, 7 with a 3. A dragon. All right. So let's let the 9 go, a 2, and then let's let the wind go here. Oh my goodness, look. Hold the phone. We've got 4s and 5s now. Look at that. We do have some year potential, but we also have 5s. Like numbers with 5s. That's what I would focus on. I would let the 8s go and break up the 4. Play like numbers with 5s. We have a gap. We need a 5 BAM in here. All right, well, let's see what happens. Let's see, we have 6, 7, 8. Here's a 4 and a 4. So we have 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not helpful. Let's keep going. Okay, so let's see here. We need to pass. Let's see, 6, 7, 4. I think I feel better than passing all evens. Okay, now we have tiles we can pass here. Let's do 9, 4. That's a great pass right there. A wind, a big number, and a little number in 2 suits. Okay, so now we have one of each suit. No keepers. Let's see here. We could pass 2 dot, 8 BAM, 4 BAM. That's a little bit risky. We have a gap. We have no 5 BAM. We've got these dragons. I kind of miss the dragon hand under the year category, but you know what we could maybe do is play the second hand down under winds and dragons if we get more flowers. I think I would pass 2. I don't think we can take the risk of passing all evens here. Okay, so we have 5 discards and we're in between like numbers with dragons or the all dragon hand, second hand down under winds. So I'd say we're an underdog on this one because we're in between.
What? 2
until we make a choice. All right, now here we could pung. We could pung. We have no gaps for the dragon hand. We do have a gap with like numbers, but we could use the joker as for the 5 BAM. Because this is a white dragon, I would go ahead and call and pung. Because we have one of 2 hands we could play here. And both will use a pung of dragons. So it's just going to be a matter of which one. The like number hand with 5s or the dragon hand under winds and dragons. We don't need 8. I was thinking someone was holding these evens that were going around. That's our tile. But we just got a dragon. Let's see. Let's let the 2 go. All right. Let's see what happens here. We could pung the dragon even now because the dragon hand under Winds and Dragons, those are pungs of dragons, just like the like number hand. Pungs of dragons. Oh, you know what? We need a 5 bam for this green dragon. This 5 dot would be the Kong. You can't use a joker with a pair. So I'm inclined to play the dragon hand until we get a 5 bam. So there's one 5 bam out. This dragon, oh no. We have the wrong dragons. This 5 dot pung goes with the, this white dragon pung goes with the 5. Let's see here. Oh no, I was right. Really, the green dragon we wouldn't need. So yeah, I don't know what I was thinking there. This joker is standing in for the 5 bam at the moment, unless we play the all dragon hand under Winds. I was a little confused for a second. We need that 5 bam if we're going to play numbers. Joker. Okay. We have only one flower. 5 dot. I would let the dragon go here and play the like number hand. Wow, there's a couple jokers up for grabs. So the jokers here are standing in for bams, 5 bam. We've got our pairs. We could pung the red dragon. So we need a good pick for this 5 bam, even if it's a joker. Probably this green dragon can go. Someone got a joker from that flower. I would love to have that. Okay, so there's a joker for that dragon up there. We could have a contender for dragons. Contender? No, competitor. We have a competitor for the dragon. Maybe. Okay. There's the 5. Now we're not playing a gap hand. We're not playing a gap hand anymore. Woohoo! Okay, we're going to pung. This is a pung, second hand down under like numbers. So we're ready to win on a 5 bam. Ready to win. 1 is out. And we could stand a joker here. 40 tiles remaining. That's our pair. Joker exchange for Mahjong. Woohoo! We got the like number hand. Thanks to jokers. That's a great hand. Well, they're all great. I like them all. All right, so it looks like they were trying for a 369 dragon hand over there up on top, but they couldn't get flowers. That's pretty risky. All right, let's keep going. So we have north 3, 5, 7 in bams, 1, 3, 5, 6 in cracks with a pair of 3s, 1, 7, 8 in dots. So there's our multiple, 3 crack. So whatever we do, we're going to use that 3 crack. Let's see here. 3 crack. We do have a lot of little odds in here. Look at the 1, 3, 5 we have here. We also have a pair of 7s and a 7 here too. There is the odd hand, 4th one down, 1, 3, 5 paired with 7, 9 and 2 suits. Let's just stop there and see how this develops. We got a 1 And we have now a 3. We have an 8 we don't need. I think the 7 can go. All right, so we need to think about this here. We have 1, 3, 5. Wow. At the moment, I'm wondering if we could get 2s and play that pair hand, third one down under singles and pairs. Okay, so we have 1, 3, 3, 5, second hand down using cracks and bams. I don't think I would pass like numbers though here. 1, 3, 5. We have no 9 dot for the fourth hand down. We have no flower, so I wouldn't consider playing multiplication. Let's see, we have no dragons, so I wouldn't consider the hand underneath there. Let's see, we have 1, 3, 5 concealed, potentially. 1, 3, 5 with 3s. We're going across, so we have to pass. I think I would let this 5 bam go and probably break up the 7. Although if we get a 9 dot, we could play that fourth hand down. Oh, we got a 9 bam, but here's a 1. All right, so let's pass 7, 8, 9. That's a little bit risky. We have tiles we can pass. 6, 9, 8 is fine. There's a 1 and a 5. We have 2 tiles. All right, so now we have to let something probably go here. So we have 1, 3, 5 concealed, maybe with 1s. I think I would let the 5 go because if we get 2s, we could maybe play that pair hand too. 1, 1, 2. Let's just see. No keepers. I think we do have good potential for the concealed odd hand. There's a 3. Okay, so we're in between. Well, not really. I wouldn't consider that single and pair hand until we get 2s. And I think we have a really good potential for the concealed odd hand. 1, 3, 5 with 3s. There's a joker. We're concealed. All right, flower. We do have all the 3s and all the 1s. We could switch to like numbers as an option. Let's see, 1, 3, 5, 3, 5. I guess there's a little potential for the multiplication hand now that we have a flower. 2 cracks are out, so that pair hand is kind of dwindling. I should have discarded that 8. Oh, there's a joker up for grabs now. We do not need the 9 crack at all. That would be a pung for us, so we're okay there. There's a flower. All right, with a pair of flowers, I would consider switching to like numbers and let the 5 crack go. Play either like numbers with 1s or like numbers with 3s. We're in between. This is where we would have to make a choice. That's the first one out though. We can wait. Another flower. That's helpful. Okay, that's the first one out. We can wait. Now there's 2, 3 dots out. So I'm thinking we should take it and dig our heels in with ones. Because we would need a joker for the 3. So let's go ahead and just expedite it. So we're going to play ones. The 3 dots nobody wanted. We have a 3 crack for joker bait, and this 3 bam can go. We can pung the 1 bam. We can Kong the flowers. We just need help with our 1 dot. That's a big multiple for us, so we're weak there, but we can use any number of jokers here. Now, this is interesting because this player on the left, they need, let's see, they're doing east and west with offsuit Kongs, so they don't need the 3s. I was thinking of last year's hand. Oh, the 3s are going down. Let's Kong. I would love to get that joker over there. There's a joker over here too. Somebody got it. Oh, 3 crack. Oh, we don't need that. And it's a pung, so that's probably not good joker bait. A pung is usually not good joker bait because someone doesn't have enough to work with to call it. So we can let that go. We're good. Another flower. We don't need it. These are all good safe discards at this point. Let's see, 4 bam is out. These, nobody wants these apparently. Oh, there's a couple jokers. Nobody wants 3s. Uh-oh. I would let this, ooh. This could be a winning tile for the player on the left. If we're going to play to win, we need to let it go now. We have 3 discards and there's 28 tiles remaining. So 28 tiles remaining. That's 7 picks. We have 4 discards. We have no gaps for our hand and we can use any number of jokers. There are 3 jokers up for grabs. I say we play to win. Calculated risk. And we pay a penalty there. We lost 20 points. That's okay. I took the risk, and sometimes when you discard the winning tile, you look at what is out, you decide your own potential with those jokers up for grabs. I thought we had a pretty good chance, and then you just accept the consequences, whatever happens thereafter. Okay, let's play again. We'll hopefully get to play at least 2 more games. I wouldn't call that an oops. That was not a mistake. I made the decision to discard it. So that's not an oops. That was I made a calculated risk. I took a calculated risk. That's part of the game. So it's okay. All right, so now we have a pair of 7s and a pair of 4s. Those don't go together without 5s and 6s, which we don't have. So I would probably let those go and then focus on 5, 7, 7, 9. Let's see here. With East and South paired up, we do have a hand in here with no gaps. 5, 7, bam, 7, 9, crack. We really don't need that 8, but that is a risky pass. I think what I would do is let the East go. We got a 7. I would let these wins go and focus on, actually, we do have potential for the concealed hand with like numbers. Let's let the 3 and the 4 go. We do not need those, or the 2 dot. Okay, now we do not need these. Oh, here's a 9 dot now. 9 dot pair. We have 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 7, 9 with 9. That doesn't really work for the concealed hand. You got to have 7s. Let's let the 9 go. Okay, there's a west. And we got a keeper there, 7. 5, 7, 7, 9. We have like numbers with 9s. We need to make a choice now. 5, 7, 7, 9, no gaps. Let's let a wind go because we have no north. That would be a gap. We have tiles we can pass. There's a south. And we have like numbers with 3s. I would not pass like numbers with 3s. 5, 7, 7, 9. No gaps. We can't act on anything though. I think I would pass 1 because I would want to keep my options open for the news concealed hand, even though it's weak. We could still play 5, 7, 7, 9, but we can't act on anything because that's a pung, pung, kong, kong hand. Okay. Hi, Susan. You had 4 for addition. Okay. So you had 4 and 7 for addition, but Susan, we have no flowers. That would be a pair gap, which would be very risky. So the way that I would recommend playing the game is to pick a hand or a category that would use most of your tiles where you have no gaps. So the 5, 7, 7, 9 hand, second one down on the right, there's no gaps there. So that's what I opted for. I didn't even consider addition because we have no flowers. So even if we had the 4 and the 7 in one suit, we'd have to let go of a pair, and we had no 3 or no flower. So I always look at where are my gaps, and I let that help me decide which way to go. We're gonna, of course, ignore that. There's a north. So now we need a west in here, but that's a single. You might be able to play that concealed hand. Another north. I would focus on that like number hand with wins. We need a west, but we could get ready for it. We do not need a 5 dot. Wow, look at all the dots out there. Flower. We do not need a flower at all for anything, really. Oh, wait a minute. No, we could play news. We could switch over to news with like numbers. I would definitely keep that. We'd have to throw away some wins, but it's an option. I think there's more potential with like numbers than with big odds because the 5 and the 9 were really weak. Okay, we have to make a choice here. We could Kong or we could focus on the concealed hand. I think we should focus on the concealed hand because we have a Pung of Souths. So I'd probably let that flower go. There's an east. All right, let's see about this 4th hand down under wins. We need a Pung of West. We have none. Somebody else is playing wins because there are none out. Joker. we're gonna let that go. We're okay there. We need to commit that joker to the north because there's 2 norths out now. So we have 1 discard at the moment. We need a west in here. We'll discard the east. We're playing concealed. There's a joker up for grabs. We don't need the 5. We're looking for a west or a 7 dot or a joker, I guess. Okay, we're going into the end game now. 40 tiles remaining. Oh, we don't need that. Nope, we're concealed. No jokers up for grabs at the moment. So we have 27 tiles remaining. There's a joker. All right. So now we're ready to win on a west. So here's the thing. This joker, east, jokerless, jokerless. They may have our west. Let's just wait and see. We're ready to win on a west. I'm hoping we'll draw it. So we have 3 more picks. Joker. We need a west. Oh my goodness, joker. Oh, let's see. 2 crack. I don't see any 2 cracks out. We have 2 more picks. This is an unseen tile. I think we should let it go. Here's the 2 crack over here. It wouldn't have been a winner for them though. Our wests were in these robots' hands over here. All right, so let's play again. Okay, now let's see what we have here. We have a couple of jokers, a flower, northeast, singles, a white dragon. We have 1, 3, 9 in bams, 5, 9 in cracks, 4, 9 in dots. So I call this a widespread. And one of the ways that you can identify a pattern is to look for like numbers, because like numbers will typically show you a majority of your tiles. So here we have all the 9s. So I would focus on probably like numbers with 9s. We might even be able to play it with wins. We have no 6, so I wouldn't hold the 3. We have 3 9s, so really the 1 with 3 9s, not helpful. And we'll never use a 4 with a 9. All right, we got a 9 dot, 8 dot, or 8, yep, and an 8 bam there. So we have 8 9 of some kind. Now we need to make a choice. 8 9 of some kind, no 7s. I would focus probably on like numbers with 9s. Let's see. So probably I would let the 8 go with a dragon and focus on 9s with news. Third hand down under like numbers. Now though, we have an 8 dot pair. 8 dot pair, 8 9. 8, 9 with nines. 8, 9 with nines. That's not helpful without a 7 though, at all. I would focus on the nines. Okay, so now we have like numbers with 5. I would let that 8 go. There's a little bit of help. And now we have tiles we can pass. Okay, we have tiles we can pass. There's a 9. And we have 3 tiles we can pass. So we need a west and a flower. We can Kong the 9s. Oh, we got an east, but that's okay. So 3 discards in a hand with no gaps. I'd say we're a front runner on this one. Third hand down under like numbers. We need a west. That's really our big weakness. And of course we need a flower, but there are 8 flowers. That's our tile. Thankfully nobody took it. That's our tile too, but there are 8. So one west is out. There's a joker up for grabs. Let's let the 4 dot go. Let's call. We're good there. That's our tile, but we're not ready for that yet. We need a pair of flowers and a west. So we have a little bit of weakness here. Four, 5. They must be playing a pung, pung, kong, kong. Joker. All right, so now we can stay kind of stealth mode. We're looking for a west and a flower. So 9 cracks are out. Part of me was thinking maybe we could switch to like numbers with 9s, but the 9 cracks are down. I think we should just hunker down and see it through. There's a joker exchange. We really don't need it though. We have a 9 bam pung or kong here. We could actually switch and use 9s. Let's see here. We could pung that. The west is out. We need a west and a flower. We could pung this 9 crack with a joker, pung the 9 dot, and even kong the flower. Because we have jokers and no west, I would go ahead and do it. So we'll keep the flower, let the winds go. There's the west. We're already committed. It's okay. We're going to make it work.
2 points.
We need a good pick for that flower.
Yeah.
1 dot. Joker exchange. All right. Now we're set.
8 points. 5 dots.
Okay. 1, 3 over there. Looks like nobody wants wins. I was hoping to play that news hand, but we had 2 weaknesses. We still don't have a flower. There we go. So now we're ready to win on a flower. Ready to win on a flower. First hand under like numbers. There it is. Mahjong. Woohoo! So we got the like number hand, even though our other like number hand kind of came in, but we let it go because we had no west and we had only one flower. That was a single that we needed and a pair that we only had one for. So I took the risk of going for a hand where we could call. This would be a hand of least resistance. And it worked out. We got jokers and we did finally pick a flower. All right, let's see what we can do. We have ooze, east, west, south. No multiples though. Let's see what we have for like numbers. Sevens, lucky 7. All right, someone was saying maybe we can try for addition, but the addition, they're all one suit. We have no 4. Here's 5, 7, 9 odds. I would rather focus on either news with like numbers or 5, 7, 7, 9. We do have a hand in here with no gaps. 5, 7, bam, 7, 9 dot. There's a north. Here's a 9 and an 8. We have all keepers. News, that's a block in and of itself. I would hold like numbers and let these go. Let's see, let's do one of each suit here. We do have like numbers with 9s and like numbers with 7s. There's 9s. We have a pair of 9s and like numbers with 8s here. Okay, let's just kind of reassess. The 8 can go, let's see, 9 bam pair, 7, 8, 9 with north and south maybe. Let's see here. I think I would, oh, like numbers, yikes. I think no matter how you slice this, it's going to be risky. Let's just let it go. Here we go. Let's see if we can get 9s. This is a bit risky. I was hoping the 9 would come back and it did. So now we can focus on news with 9s. That's a little risky there again. I'd probably let the south go since we need new singles. Okay, and we have tiles we can pass. There's another 9. Now we have an option. So I feel much better now with all that risk. Okay, we're east, so we'll let the wait. We have some potential for the concealed hand now. We could maybe try the concealed hand. Let's just see what happens. So news with any like numbers, 9s, third hand down under like numbers, or the concealed hand. Okay, now here, I don't think I would call it. We could Kong, but we have an option with our 9 dot. I think I would wait. Okay, we need 9s. There's a joker. Whoa, that's a big red flag there. Look at those jokers up for grabs. 2 exposures with jokers. Oh my goodness. So they need 3 bams. Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. There are 2 south. I think I would probably let the concealed wind hand go. I'm kind of hoping this player to the left has 3 bams because this player over here, they have 3 exposures. That's going to be really risky there. We can let that go. Joker. All right, we're going to let that go. We'll let the north or the 9 go. So we're ready. We're ready to call the 9s. We need a flower in here. Oh, Okay, now we're even closer really to the concealed hand, and we don't know where the flower is going to come from. So right now we have no discards. We're in between the news concealed wind hand and like numbers with news. I think we're closer to the wind hand. Okay, threes. There's the 9 dot. Let's let the flower go. So we can put that south there. We're ready on one of 3 tiles. I call this a triple weight. 9 bam, 9 crack, or north will give us a win. Triple weight. 54 tiles remaining. This was a good result, thanks to jokers, actually. All right, let's see if we can get it. There's another front runner at the table here. They're waiting on a 3 bam. We need a 9 bam, 9 dot, or a north for news concealed wind hand. There it is. Mahjong. All right. And they're ready to win on that 3 bam. Oh my goodness. Now the player to our left, they're playing a 3-6-9 hand. So they weren't going to get it from over there. The last 2 hands started with 2 jokers and you didn't look at quints. Well, I don't recall the strength of the hands though. Let's see. Just because you have jokers doesn't mean quints is going to work out. If you have big multiples, then maybe, but I'll have to look at the replay to see if there was a potential for quints. Did you see which hand would you have played, Susan? We had like numbers with 9s. We did have 8s for a very short period, but they were singles. And in the third quint, we would have needed pairs. So I don't think I would have risked that one. We did have wins with 9s, but no strong other number other than 9. So the second hand down wouldn't work. So I don't think the quint hand would have worked with what we had. I think like numbers with news or the news concealed hand was ideal just because of the makeup of the hand. 8, 9, yes. However, the 8s were singles and we needed pairs. So it would have been risky unless we had one of those paired up. So I just didn't even think about it because we had strength with wins. We had news, I think, from the beginning, or nearly. It could have worked, Susan, maybe. But this worked too. Not sure what to say. Let's see what we can do with one more hand. Okay, so now we have a pair of white dragons. We have a lot of 2, 4, 6, 8, but no 8. More smaller numbers. So I would let the 9 dot go. Okay, Susan, maybe the quint would have worked. So I didn't see it. And I went with wins with like numbers. So the 8, 9 quint could have worked then if I had a pair. Did I have a 8? If I had an 8 dot, did we have the 8 bam in there and an 8 dot? We had an 8. I remember getting an 8 dot with a 9, but we didn't have an 8 bam. I see, Susan. Okay, let's keep going. We're going to let the north go. I'm wondering if we can maybe play a year hand. We've got 2s and 4s. I typically go play for the strength of the hand. And sometimes that means playing the same hands. I'd rather go for a win with what I have in my hand than push for something that would be a risk. It one of the beauties of playing mahjong is that you can make just about anything work with the right decision at the right time. And there's something about beauty in the eye of the beholder. When you look at a hand, you might see one option, and another player could see something different, and both could work. That's one of the beauties of the game. So yes, the quint might have worked. All right, so let's see. Since we have dragons, I would consider maybe playing the like number hand with dragons. We have no 2 dot though, so that would be a gap. We have like numbers with 6s. So I would not pass like numbers here. Let's see, we have 2, 2, 4, white dragon, 2, 4, no 2 dot. Let's let the dragon go and focus on a year hand. Maybe we can try for this year hand. Let's see what happens. So let's let north with a 1 go. Okay, so we can keep going. We have east and west with 2s. That doesn't work. We also have a year hand in here. I'm kind of thinking we should let the winds focus. Oh, look, we got the 2. Okay, so maybe we can play like numbers with 2s and dragons. We have tiles we can pass. And we have tiles we can pass. Okay, no keepers. We can let these go. So we have 3 discards and a hand with no gaps. Second hand down, any like numbers, or we can play a year hand. Somebody kept that green dragon though. All right, now here we would need to pung that, but our 2 foreign cracks is really weak. We need to Kong those, and I think we have just as enough. I think we have just as much potential for like numbers. So I would let this one go and see what happens. There's another soap though. I would go ahead and call and pung. We can still maybe play the first hand under the year, but we can also maybe play the dragon hand. So I would probably let that go there. Since we have a green dragon with the 2 bam, let's see here. 2 bam. We need to pair up the 2 dot and Kong the 2 crack. So we're going to let that 2 bam go. Let's see here. We'll let it go. Let's see if we can get it. We're going to let it go. We can maybe call for the second green. We're in between.
5 dots, 7 dots, 9 dots,
We're good here. Joker. We can let that go. Let's see here. Green dragon pair. We need to Kong the 2. We need a 2 dot pair. We could still maybe play the first year hand. We have 2 discards before we have to pick a hand. Let's let the flower go.
1 4,
No. There's the green. Okay, so I would commit to the like number hand because we can Kong the 2, pung the green, and be ready on a 2 dot. Maybe. It's a little risky. Oh, that's a Kong for us. So we have one weakness here with our 2 dot. But now we're ready to win. Ready to win on a 2-dot. 2-dot. We need a pair there. Oh, 4-dot. Don't need a 3. Looks like a 3-6-9 to the right. Two jokers up for grabs at the moment. Oh, nope, this is fine. Look at all the 3-6-9 out there. Uh-oh. Oh my goodness, look at the jokers. Yikes, someone just nabbed 2 jokers at once. Okay, south. That just went down. There it is. Mahjong. Woohoo! We got Mahjong. Like numbers. All right, so we're almost at the top of the hour. So I think that's going to do it for this live stream. I hope you found it helpful with gameplay. We had a lot of gameplay with commentary. At the beginning of the session, we talked about scoring. So if you missed that part of the live stream and you're new to the game, I invite you to watch the repost so that you can learn about scoring if you're not scoring already. And if you have any questions, write them in the comment section below the video. And I'll try to find out a little bit of information from the people at I Love Mahj in regards to the question about tournament play, because they do use tournament scoring at I Love Mahj. So it'll be interesting to find out the reasoning behind that, because it is unusual. Yes, we'll be back in 1 hour. We'll be back at 2 o'clock. And at the 2 o'clock nitty-gritty prime time, we're going to be talking about calculated risks, which is a little more advanced. The nitty-gritty basics is focused on fundamentals of the game. So we try to keep it at the fundamental level so as not to overwhelm beginners and early intermediate players. And then in the nitty-gritty prime time, the second session, that's when we go hard and we go deep and wide. Nitty-gritty prime time. Those are all the advanced topics. If you're curious about the other topics that we cover on a recurring basis, look for a link in the video description below for the skills and strategies matrix, and that will show you all the topics that we cover. At the very bottom of that article, there's an index by session, so you can put yourself in whichever skill level to kind of separate the topics for a quick view. Thank you so much. Yep, Riley is getting groomed right now. He's sedated, hopefully. So I'll take this time to call and check on him and see if he's okay. He's an old dude. He's probably 16 years old now, I think, something like that. He's an old poodle. But anyway, so yes, hopefully he's okay. We'll see. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all the questions. And we had some really great comments and questions. And during the game, I just want to emphasize that you can make just about anything work when you play this game with the right decisions at the right time. And also when one player sees an option, they can play it out and win. But there could be potential for something completely different. It just depends on what that player sees, their vision for the hand. And then, of course, there's the outcome. So there's a lot to be said for watching the trends of the hands and leveraging strength. And there are some missed opportunities, and I may have had some of those in this episode. I'll watch the repost and comment for, I think someone mentioned that I had a potential for an addition hand, and then someone mentioned I had potential for a quint in this last game. So I'll watch the repost and analyze it and kind of give my input from a third person point of view and just see what it looks like. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you so much for supporting MAHJLIFE and for sharing about this channel. A magician hand, what is that? I don't know what that is. All right, I'm going to get off unless someone has a question about live streams. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and sign off, and then we'll be back in an hour for the next session. If you have any questions, write them in caps so we can catch it. I don't know what a magician hand is. See you in an hour. All right. I don't know what that is. If someone knows what a magician hand is, let me know. All right, we'll be back in an hour. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Click the little gray bell if you do. That way you'll get notification for when I post new videos, and you won't miss an opportunity to learn a new strategy or pick up an insight to the game that could give you an advantage at the table. Between now and the next video, may all your picks be keepers.